Hello friend, it's been a few weeks since I've given you a lap of the fish room. Let's take a look at what's going on in here with the different tanks and get you and me updated on the status of everything. So let's go ahead. I keep these videos on file as an ongoing record that I actually go back and take a look at sometimes just to see how things are progressing. But let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on here in the fish room. We'll start with my hornwort jungle, also known as my planted community tank, and everybody in here is doing great. There's some pretty little Rummy Nose, red serpa. We also have some neons down there. Here's my weirdo fish. I keep harvesting some of this hornwort, moving it to other tanks. You'll see that in a minute. I'm still using that little planter from the aquarium co-op back there. You can see it behind the wood. I put an anubias in there and he seems to be doing fine. It's an anubias that kept getting detached and floating around the tank. So I went ahead and put him in that planter and he seems to be doing fine. I may have to start moving or consider moving some of the plecos out of the aquarium here as they get too large. I'll probably end up dumping a couple big plecos into the 90-gallon. Little rasboras. Love the way the rasboras school. Albino pleco down here. Cool guy. Love albinos. Little red tail rasboras. I keep waiting for their red tails to show up. You can see them there. They almost look like black neons. Of course, I got some lemons in here. Love the Rummy Nose. Some of my favorite fish. Well, it looks like the red tear is out. Let's go ahead and move over there before he hides. Put a little hornwort in his tank. He doesn't seem to be destroying it too quickly. And I do feel that the plants do such good work in the aquarium. Even if they eventually get destroyed, having a few in there isn't a bad idea. But he's looking as good as usual. Just a real handsome guy. I've promised him a wife. I'll probably want to pick up a 125. Just got to figure out where to put it. Just a good looking fish. Let's go over to the 210. Here's the 210 South and Central American tank. Business as usual there. Everybody's looking good. I'd love to be able to put some plants in here, and I have from time to time thrown some hornwort in here, but it disappears pretty quick. These fish, of course, are plant destroyers. Little handprint from my granddaughter right here. Green tear. Not really living up to his name. He's a very, very mellow fish. Nothing tear about him. And there's nothing really Jack Dempsey about this Jack Dempsey. She's very, very mellow. There's no real aggression going on in this tank. An occasional face-off between that firemouth you see right there and the Nicaragua. Oh, there's Sally. Sally's a camera hog. She knows she's pretty. Big old vieja. Beautiful markings and color on that fish. The albino Oscar up there hanging out in the corner. They're waiting to be fed. There's the Nicaragua. Here's the big red tiger. Looking good. Silver dollars continue to thrive in here. Nobody goes after them, nobody bothers them. One of them, this one right here that you can see right in the middle of the shot that I'm following, I think is the dominant silver dollar. He's got a fin a piece of his tail in the middle that trails, where none of the other ones have that. So I'm thinking he might be the head honcho, the shot caller here in the bunch. Just a little chocolate. It's a beautiful fish. This wood continues to float, will probably float forever. I could push it down or weigh it down, but why bother? I kind of like it hanging there. And the pleco lives right in that little opening where you see a little green there. There's a little bit of green algae where the branch separates, and there's enough space in there where the pleco that lives in this tank actually lives in that opening right there, and it keeps him safe, out of harm's way. Albino almost overwhelms the camera, kind of like the way the red-spotted gold severum does. Just a very, very bright fish. Very pretty. All right, let me get over here to the 300 gallon African cichlid tank, 7 feet across, about 2 feet from front to back. No, over 30 inches from front to back, actually. I think about a little over 2 feet tall. Somehow adds all up to 300 gallons. And these guys are doing fine. Nothing's really changed since the last time we looked at them. The tangerine tiger continues to show his age, I guess. Just not as active as he used to be, but the other ones are looking really good. Bucochromis rhodesii yellow, the sand diver, agar, a strigatus. That's strigatus, cousin of the eye biter, but doesn't have the attitude of the eye biter. I love eye biters, don't get me wrong, and I wish I had one in here. Trout, beautiful fish. Have you noticed how some of these fish have a kind of a squared off tail where the back is a straight line? The very back of the tail is just a straight line, where some of them have a curved tail like this guy here. So he's got a little bit of a crescent tail. I think those are the fish that are built more for speed. Bucochromis has a little bit of a crescent in his tail. Where some of these, like the gar, who is sort of an ambush predator, spends his time working those big lips between rocks, trying to get fry. So they don't really need that kind of speed. But a fish like an open water predator, like this guy, like the trout, he needs to catch a fleeing fish. So he's built like a torpedo. Everything about him is built for speed. The betta tank is a little quiet at the moment because the betta is inside of his betta log. You can barely see him in there. The hornwort is doing great. Hornwort really loves the watering conditions in my fish room. You can see some of the baby plecos. If you look around, you'll see them. There's a little baby pleco on top of that cave right there. Let me get some more light in here. Maybe you can see him. He's got little white on the tips of his tail on the top of that cave. I imagine there's about a dozen of them. Here's one of the parents right there. Whoop, there it goes. Let me see if I can work the betta over towards the front so you can see him. Such a pretty fish. But very often what will happen is the betta log will drift. Oh, there he is. The betta log drifts and then gets anchored in the hornwort. I prefer it to be like this so I can see him. But he loves hanging in that betta log. One of you, I forget which one of you, recommended I get one. Had never even heard of them before. They're made by Zoomed. There he goes. He's in his condo. So here we are at the live bear tank, just full of babies. You can see them up there. Some of them are taking on color, like this little guy right in the middle here. Absolutely, really cute. He's a fry from this one, so he's got that little black face, except in a miniature version. Of course, a lot of guppies in there too, baby guppies. I'm feeding him a lot of that North Fin fry starter, but I also put in some of the community, some of the North Fin community, or I'm sorry, some of the extreme community flakes. Here's the new addition. The 5 albino hecali I picked up. Very doing really well, really going after their food, very interactive with me, come right up to the glass, showing some beautiful colors in their body, their tails, a lot of potential. Like in the anal fin, you see some red already in some of them. I mean, they're already very pretty, and they're nowhere near where they're going to end up. So very excited about this group of 5. What I end up ultimately doing with them, we'll see. Again, there's some hornwort in here. There's some decaying almond leaves, some snails, some plecos. It's a very healthy tank for them to put on some size. I've been feeding them some of the Sarah green, some of the veggie flakes from Sarah, and they seem to be doing really well on a combination of veggie flakes and some of the extreme community flakes. All right, here's the 90. Of course, this is a hecali also, but it is just a standard hecali. I think they're beautiful fish as well. But the albinos, boy oh boy, are they stunning once they get larger and put on size. The red spotted gold severum is a real camera hog. Not shy like the red shoulder back there. Red shoulder tends to be a bit shy. But the funny thing is the red shoulder is far more aggressive. Red spotted Hecli leaves everybody alone. But the red shoulder chases the red spotted. Here he comes. Right on cue. Don't be a jerkfish. Electric blue Acara is doing really well in here. There's some of that Zoom Ed Mopani wood. Zoom Ed Mopani, and I also threw a little bit of hornwort in here, which seems to be surviving. Maybe they're confused because they've been biting plastic plants for so long. Maybe they figured it's just another plastic plant. Of course, some of these fish are plant destroyers. In particular, the Buenos Aires tetras, which is one of the reasons I removed them from the 55, was because they were nipping away at the plants, and they also can nip at other fish too. So that's the current scene here in the fish room. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to go ahead and get things ready for today's Cichlids and Coffee live stream. And I hope you can join me in the future for those if you're not already on one watching this live. And if you'd like to support the channel, consider becoming a Patreon monthly supporter. Starts for as little as $3 a month. Really helps out a lot. And don't forget to hit that bell, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and all of that. And if you are subscribed, be sure to check, because I've heard YouTube is actually unsubscribing people for no reason. So be sure to check to make sure that you're still in a subscribed status. All right, thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate you, my friends. Bye-bye.